Oh, that ain't good. I don't know what the f I'd be coughing up, but it's like a xenomorph throat me and made me call it daddy. Let's continue though. Jesus. That's one way to deal with a thief. Make it so they can't steal anymore. You know mom and dad are on the verge of divorce, but the kid just don't care. All the kid cares about is buying me candy and going on rides. Is this going to be an episode that's super simple at face value, but actually humanizes and characterizes these three especially? Because we already have gotten information that Xylo likes to read poems, and he would have liked to be a poet if he didn't get this lifestyle. We're starting to see her food desires and her passion there, which allows her to drop her guard a little and show she's not just a hardened commander. They wanted to use her as a fucking test subject to manufacture more goddesses? That's disgusting. So she was gonna get fucking dissected like a goddamn lab experiment before we had her help destroy demon lords. That's bullshit. Basically, I just need as many supplies as you can give me. That's honestly adorable. He's like, bro, dad's giving me whatever he wants. He's giving me his unlimited credit card. I'll buy you whatever you need, big bro. For such a devastating moment, this is actually kind of wholesome. So basically, he just got told lies are fine, but if you tell the truth to the public, that's when we're gonna have to cut your nuts off. Gotta be real. Well, sure, we did have this scene at the very end of the episode where bro is completely fine severing the hand of a thief, which can't say I'm shedding a tear over. That was quite amazing and impressive. What is impressive is what episode 4 of Sentence to Be a Hero did, because it's not something you see often. I'm not saying this is the first show to do it in years, but it happens so infrequently because usually when you skip an opening, it means big explosive moment. Like, yeah, there's usually dialogue before that moment, but what they're typically doing is building into something like this for like the midpoint, or they're going to do some big Sakuga fest. Like, they need the extra runtime to do explosive Oonga Boonga Monkey Brain jingle keys to keep people excited. And instead, we had dialogue. They just added extra dialogue. They wanted to make sure we had as much time to see the characterization and to understand the characters' mentalities much more before they get tasked at what is, no joke, a suicide mission. It's stay behind and die to poisonous gas as you hold the demon lord off so it continuously poisons. These types of episodes are often considered filler by the anime community, and as I've said for many years, filler lost its usage many moons ago. But I felt like I learned a lot, especially between these two and their current character arcs and like where they are, why they think the way they do, but most importantly, what they would probably be doing if it wasn't for this lifestyle. This was an absolute masterclass of an episode that sets up a just insane battle next week, which surely is going to have some deaths. And overall, my mind's blown by how well they do dialogue. It's absolutely amazing. Now, of course, you got this hard video. Know what to do. Drop a like, share your support, subscribe, ring that bell, and Patreon is where you'll catch my full live reactions to all these episodes and more, which also does help fund the channel and videos just like the one you're watching. Is anyone else just loving the fact that they casually confirmed this is actually an isekai? They're gonna barely bring it up again for probably many episodes, but Tatsuya being confirmed to be someone who was summoned to another world by a goddess is the most casual isekai lore drop ever. But it actually does explain something that people have been wondering about for a bit. I just kind of wrote it off as like, well, it's just a fantasy world. There's a lot we don't know about. In the second episode, I think, the goddess was like looking at some tanks or whatever it was. It was very modern looking equipment. I guess it just explains that goddesses be summoning shit to their world from other worlds, and that's why this is secretly an isekai, which does wonders for me as a content creator, because now I can clickbait the fuck out of this being an isekai, and that brings me great joy. I think honestly my favorite point of this whole episode was actually learning that Xylo is super into poetry, and most likely had he not been sentenced to be a hero or his life didn't go the way it is, if he had a option to do it all over and choose a different path, he probably would have been a poet. And that's an interesting piece of information, because looking at him, I don't really think there's been any indication of his love for poetry up to this point. Maybe I've missed some details, but it's really sweet because you can just tell it's his one break of comfort in this hell-forsaken world, and that's like the one thing they can't take away from him, no matter how much shit gets thrown in his face. And while it's not to the same degree, Best Girl does have a very cute moment when she talks very enthusiastically about the ice cream, the shaved ice with all the sauces and just, you know, enjoying it. And it's very cute because I'm not saying guaranteed, like, you know, she had an option to do it over. I think currently she still firmly believes what she's doing is for the benefit of the world. I expect over time her mindset will continue to fracture, if not shatter, and she'll probably be labeled a terrorist or something when she eventually, inevitably, helps Xylo escape. I'm not sure how soon that will be. Could be very far off in the future, or could be an episode or two for now. I don't know. But seeing her passion for food does help humanize her and remind you she is just a normal woman at the end of the day. And despite who she might work for, it doesn't actually represent who she is deep down inside. She's not a cold, malicious person. If anything, the more I see of her, the more I realize that she truly wants people to be equal. But yes, she has been indoctrinated by her government and church to believe people like Xylo deserve what they're getting. But the more she spends time with him, the more she realizes, maybe I shouldn't just blindly have faith for something that's been told to me. And that's really good characterization. I also like everything that they did with the other heroes. I mean, bro has the ability to negotiate anything other than a pardon. And honestly, I think it probably is smart to have something that can be turned down when you're getting a bajillion things, because they're obviously not going to free the heroes. But, you know, if you just start saying, I want 10 million soldiers and, you know, unlimited food, they're going to tell you to go fuck yourself. But when the dude's so good at negotiating that you can say, okay, we want all that, but we also want a pardon. They're like, okay, we won't give you the pardon, but we'll give you everything else. It's like, okay, sure, that works for me. Why not? And honestly, I just love the dynamic between these two, because Xylo is like, bro, I don't need anything. We're gonna die. He's all right, fuck it. I want soldiers. I want food. I want supplies. It's interesting too, because they all would have fucking died, but the first thing that we ended up getting was that if anyone tries to leave, they all die. But everyone in this group is going to be selfish, so you should make it so if someone leaves, not everyone's going to die. There's a way out that, while I do expect we're going to see a big death, the whole collective cast probably is getting out of this. I'm not sure if we're going to fake our death or what, but it's going to be quite exciting to see what they ultimately come up with, because am I worried? Absolutely. But they really jam-packed this episode. Every nook and cranny had top-tier dialogue. We understand some characters better. Honestly, we're understanding how this world operates even better. And in doing so, we're setting up what could be the most insane death episode, or minimum, the most insane action episode of the show to date. I honestly felt bad for what ended up happening to him. I mean, when you just have this situation and they're like, hey, the only thing you did wrong, like, hey, you lied, you stole, you fucked Jim's wife over there, that's fine. But where we have to draw a line is you telling the truth. And by telling the truth, people are going to listen, and we can't have that. Holy shit, bro. Not to mention the gambling scene. So it's like, oh man, bro's just winning endlessly. I thought to myself, surely it was going to be this dude who was, you know, doing some sort of lucky gamble. Turns out he just been getting his ass handed to him by this guy. I'm not sure exactly how he was cheating. Maybe he was using weighted dice or something like that. But, you know, the punishment should fit the crime. And then there's the other option where you make it so the crime can never be committed again. And in this case, I have a strong suspicion one hand isn't going to be enough to pick the pockets of those right in front of you. So, rip Bozo. Loving this one. I think it's absolutely top tier. I think I currently have zero complaints with this show. I think it has the balls to do things both intensely and subtly that you don't often see. And while, yes, it sounds like a broken record, there's no show that looks like Mushoku Tensei other than this and Mushoku Tensei. And I really hope this show does to Isekai visually as Kirito did for character designs for fantasy. Just, I want to see fucking copy and paste of this art direction, man. It's wonderful. Your thoughts down below. Drop a like, help show your support, subscribe, ring that bell, and yes, Patreon for live reactions and exclusives. Like, hey, I love to give video shoutouts to my patrons because they make these videos possible. So today we got Ham of Rage, Devin Mitchell, Tony X, Spectra, JJR10, Monty7, Rekatron, and Buanake, Monaco Lazuria. So I appreciate the support. Please take care and you'll have a good one.